Hi, my name is Holly Rollins, and I lead my company's aerospace cyber business. And my objective with this project over the last 8 weeks has been positioning myself to have a power base that will lead me to promotion to the next level. This can be a bit challenging because I'm geographically separated from my leadership. I'm based in Denver, and my company is based in McLean, Virginia, and most of my clients are in New York, Boston, Texas, and Los Angeles. So although I travel quite a bit, I'm not in DC, the DC area every week. And so I need to find creative ways to elevate my presence and assert power if I'm going to make this promotion happen. This spring, I've been leading a very high visibility assignment for the firm. And I think coming into this course, I thought that being on a high visibility cyber assignment that is critical to how we want to grow the business moving forward was going to be enough. And actually, this course has made me realize that there are many components to substantiating my promotion to this next executive level, that just doing a good job was not going to be enough. So each week I tried to lean into the subject at hand and really work that. And I have to say that I will not finish, I'm not going to get promoted in the 8 weeks of this class, but it has calibrated my thinking. Specifically wanted to talk about 3 different areas that I have put under immediate focus. Well, I've built a very complex relationship map of who I need to broker and exert power with. I'm going to, in the context of this video, discuss a couple of those relationships. I have a very strong relationship with my executive vice president, whom I respect tremendously, and I consider him a huge advocate and friend. By contrast, I have a horrible relationship with my immediate supervisor. He's very arrogant, very condescending, is not great with women, and it's not going well and hasn't for a while. Yet I recognize that I have to have his advocacy and buy-in if this promotion is going to happen. Prior to this Stanford program, I've been very involved in the community over the years. I've been on several boards. During my year in this Stanford program, I've actually stepped aside from some of those external relationships. So the third thing I'm going to talk about is how I'm revitalizing that. So let me begin with my relationship with my executive vice president. One of the things, because we bill out people's time, we do sell some products, but largely we bill out people's time, headcount matters. And so at the beginning of our fiscal year, which starts April 1st, my executive vice president was looking for someone in the business to drive our recruiting efforts and to really make it much more robust. The business is growing, but we can't capitalize on that growth without the necessary headcount. So begrudgingly, I agreed to be his recruiting czarina. And actually, I really felt that this was a shitty little task that I had to do. Wasn't super excited about it. And yet this course made me realize that I can own that space. It gives me a platform to have almost unprecedented access to my executive vice president on something that he's measured on and that is very, very critical to the business. And so I actually calibrated my thinking on this role and really kind of put my best foot forward. I brokered with other colleagues who I don't normally interface with, and have kind of taken an all-the-above approach. One of the things I've been doing is setting up a cyber academy where we're taking minimally qualified candidates and putting them through an 8-week boot camp so that they can sit for 3 critical certifications that are needed to really give you both the insight and the street creds with our clients to come in and do some of our cyber work. This week was a particularly difficult week for my executive vice president. He was dealing with something that was very stressful to him and not very favorable. He happened to be in Colorado. He was going to be in Colorado Springs, and my office is in Denver. He texted me at 7 o'clock in the morning and asked me if I was coming to Colorado Springs that day. And while I hadn't planned on being in Colorado Springs that day, I did revector my day just to have that FaceTime with him. I didn't quite realize how spun up he was until I was with him in person. He was madder than a wet cat about something that actually has nothing to do with our cyber business or me, but clearly I was a confidant and kind of a safe sounding board for him. And so it was time well spent. It was his agenda on his time. I actually invited him to lunch. I sort of kidnapped him and said, I'm taking you to lunch, let's go. And so I treated him to lunch, and we went out, and I felt like it was really great time for him to see me at kind of that executive level as that trusted confidant that could understand the complexities of the challenges that he faces as the lead of our aerospace business. I was also able to report to him, we have a goal of a certain headcount target that we have to hit by March 31st of 2019. We're within 50 hires of hitting that as of August. And so he was flabbergasted and excited and asked me how I did it. And it was a fabulous conversation. And I think it went a long way to elevate my stock with this very critical person in my ecosystem. My relationship with my boss. My strategy up until this course has been largely to avoid him, to just interface with him when I needed resources to get something done. And so one of the things that the conflict chapter taught me was that I really need to lean into this. I need to own it. I need to find common ground and a way to move this relationship forward. And I think we're taking baby steps. I still think he's a challenge, but yeah, I am trying to not avoid him. I'm trying to pick things that are important to him and critical to his success and partner with him for the good of the business. And then finally, in terms of rebooting my external relationships, I do have some really pretty good external relationships, and leveraging a lot of what I've done in the past. I've been the Society of Women Engineers lead for my company. I'm a huge champion for girls in STEM. I've done a lot of work with academia. So there's an opportunity to lead a strategic planning committee on women in cyber. And it's partnering with universities to really, in the area in Colorado, to really elevate the presence of senior women and women in general in the cyber field. And so this is a great opportunity to network in part with people I already know and to continue to build relationships. So what's next? I just need to continue on this path that I've taken by being very intentional about my relationships, by asserting power, by not looking down at menial tasks that I don't view as critical to the business. And I also need to continue to embrace the perspective of my seniors and what makes them successful and contribute to that success. So I'm actually going to read the entire book again. I think this is this power content in this class is not something that you take in short order. I think it's something you have to marinate on and go back and revisit the concepts. I've really enjoyed the class. Thank you.